Have you ever had a monster chasing you in a dream? I don't actually get a lot of people asking me about it if a monster is chasing them. Generally, there's something more specific chasing them. But in this video, we're going to talk about what it means if there is a monster chasing you in a dream. Hi, I'm Karen, and I dream a lot. I like to study and talk about dreams and dream interpretation and interpret dreams for people. If you've had a dream of a monster chasing you, please put it in the comments below. Children tend to have monster dreams more than adults do. And that's because there are more things that are unknown to children than there are to adults. Not that we know everything, but by the time you're an adult, what is chasing you in dreams is more specific. When you're a child, what's chasing you in a dream is often kind of vague and just this general monster. It is a dream that's very common for adults as well. In this video, I'm going to talk about what it means when a monster is chasing you. And then in the second video, in this little mini series, I will tell you what you can do about it if you've had this kind of dream. These are generally nightmares. I do have videos on my channel about nightmares, but what can you do specifically if a monster is chasing you? We'll talk about that in the second video. I also have a video on the channel that is all about what it means when something's chasing you. But today we're going to talk specifically about a monster. Sometimes in a dream, a monster is either chasing you or maybe they're just following you and you just want to get away from them, but it's not this like, oh, I have to get away from them and you're running and they're running. It might just be that they're following you around. But we want to talk about what does the monster mean? And a monster in dreams can signify a couple of different things. One of them is aspects of yourself that you don't like. Aspects of yourself that you might find repulsive and ugly, that you might define as repulsive and ugly. Other people might not think of them that way, but you do. So there may be things about yourself that you don't like and you don't want to acknowledge them. And you may be in a waking situation where those aspects of yourself are coming out. Maybe you don't like that you are a perfectionist and you've been working on trying not to be a perfectionist and it's not going very well. And maybe you recently had a situation where you were being a perfectionist about something. You could be having a dream where a monster is chasing you, and this represents things that you don't like about yourself that either you're trying to change or that you may not be aware of. Another thing that monsters can represent in dreams are your fears. So again, similar to things you don't like about yourself, it can be things you're afraid of generally within yourself. Now, sometimes in dreams, everything in a dream is an aspect of the dreamer. Not always, and not in every kind of dream, but that's a good place to start, is to look at what in this dream is within me. When I look at anything in this dream, how does that show up in me? And for a monster chasing you, it might be your fears that are chasing you, things you're afraid of. And you don't really know what they are, you just know you're afraid of them. We can often go through life with vague fears that we don't ever really define. We just have this vague sense of fear. And that can be because of things that happened in our childhood. It can be because things that happened in our adulthood. Just as you go through life, sometimes you develop more fears as you get older maybe, or something has happened and you just learn that things can often go wrong. And sometimes it makes sense that we develop more vague fears and we don't know exactly what we're afraid of. We just have a general sense of fear. And so sometimes in a dream when a monster is chasing you, it can be that general sense of fear. If you like what you're hearing so far, please go ahead and click the like button so more people can find out what it means when they dream about a monster. Thank you. Similar to your fears chasing you, it could just be something else you're afraid of. And in the second video, we'll talk about how to figure that out. But in this video, just know that sometimes it can be something you're afraid of. You may already know what you're afraid of in your waking life. You may be facing something already in your waking life that you are fearful of, and then you have a dream where a monster is chasing you. Then you pretty much know, okay, that's what this dream is about. So sometimes it's really clear what we're afraid of, but sometimes it's not as clear what it is that we're afraid of. There's a quote by Robert Moss that I like when I have had a dream about a monster, and it says, "The monster in our dreams may turn out to be our own power hunting us." And what that means is that sometimes the monster in our dream, in fact, almost all the time, the monster in our dream is actually something strong within us that we are trying to avoid or running away from in our waking life. And it's actually here to help us. When you start to look at your dreams in that way, in saying, what in this dream is here to help me and how is it helping me? Then you find a little more help in your dreams, and it kind of makes them less scary. So one of the things that we can often do, and we'll talk about this in the second video, is ask the monster what it's here to teach us or give us, or what it's here for, right? So if we are being hunted by something and it's big and powerful and fast and strong, those are qualities within us because they're in the dream. They're in the dream and we see them, and it may be that we are running away from our own power, our own strength in a situation, because often we might feel that we shouldn't be as strong as either a situation calls for or as we want to be. Often we're given messages that we shouldn't be strong and powerful with people, that we need to be more submissive, say. And so sometimes these dream monsters are reminding us that we do have these qualities, and once we get to know them, they're less scary. And you know, we think about how we've come to like monsters in Monsters, Inc. movies, or on Sesame Street, the monsters, right? Those are big scary monsters, and then you get to know them and they're not as scary. So think about your dreams in that way when you dream about a monster. If you kill a monster in a dream, it can represent overcoming your rivals, as it says in dreammoods.com, which is the dictionary I like to look at as a starting point. Generally, that just means that you're overcoming some obstacles that may be related to people. If in your dream you turn into a monster, that can represent the fact that you feel like you are changing into someone you don't know, you're changing into someone you don't like. It could be that you are aware that maybe you need to change or want to change your attitude in a waking situation, and it's getting pretty intense, and you just don't like how you're behaving in it. That can be shown by actually turning into a monster in a dream. So that's generally what a monster represents. The big question is, what does it represent for you? What is it within you that you are running away from? So in the next video, we'll talk more about that and look at what you can do with a dream where you have a monster chasing you. You can follow me over on Instagram at Caryndreams. Please go ahead and click subscribe. There are new videos every week, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.